What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. As always, I'm Ari here with Korea. We had our return yesterday after a week or two off. Just one play each for us. Tough loss for you, Korea. Smith Jobber dealt, and of course he gets placed in the IL this morning. So he got hurt from that start where he pitched. I think he threw like 4 1/3 or whatever it was. But what were your takeaways from that one play?
Yeah, I mean, it was the bats didn't show up for either one. For either team. I mean, yeah, we mentioned for I think it was Smith Sharver, just coming back and then obviously getting injured again, and it was just the bats for either team didn't really show up. Looking at the box score, 1 for 4 day for Acuna, 1 for 3 for Albies. The only real contributor, former Mariner Jared Kalenic with his homer. That was really the only like key contributor. Outside of that, when the Cubs put up zero, it kind of shows the story. They only had 4 hits on the day. Just couldn't really get anything going offensively. Seiya Suzuki was kind of the one man. With a couple singles. Outside of him, Morel 0 for 4 day, Bellinger 0 for 4 day. So when you're 3-4, go 0 for 8. It's just a tough loss. So it was a good read, but just the bats weren't executed. Obviously that's kind of how this baseball season has been for me. But I'm not beating myself too much over it. It was just tough read. It wasn't like it was a bad system or anything in terms of the wind. It was like a sunny day, so it was gorgeous, but just couldn't really get anything offensively going. For the entire Cubs lineup. Just trying to maybe finish the series off strong, but I'm not beating myself too much over it. But Ari, I know you got a winner, but it was a little sweaty. I'll tell you that much.
It was kind of crazy. The Boston was down by 2 after the first quarter. Then they opened the second quarter in a 17-0 run. They went up by as much as 16 in the second quarter. With like 2 minutes left, they were up by 13. And then the offense goes cold the last 2 minutes, and the Pacers score like every possession. And they ended up winning by 6 in the first half. So I think Siakam had like a 2-point shot, like a dunk, or just like a short shot with like 4 seconds left. It was a dunk that brought him within 6 with like 5 seconds left. So a 3 would have pushed, but fortunately it was just a 2 instead. So they won by 6. So and obviously they ran away with it. Obviously, full game was way less sweaty than the first half. They won by 16. Pacers lost Halliburton in the second half, so we'll see what happens with him. If he's out, then that could be a sweep if he's out for games 3 and 4. But we'll see with that. But yeah, good winner. Obviously split like you said, but we'll take it.
Yeah, win's a win. As you said, we'll take it. You mentioned even though it was the Pascal Siakam show at the end of the first half, for the Pacers, scoring I think on 3 or 4 straight possessions.
He scored 8 points. He scored all 8 points in the last 2 minutes for the Pacers.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. He was going on a run. I was looking at that score. I was like, oh, well, that's a little more sweaty than I envisioned. Considering, as you mentioned, obviously it was like a double-digit lead, then crawled all the way down to 6, and then obviously you mentioned second half. You can mention maybe the Halliburton injury kind of influenced it as well, but obviously the final score, a lot less sweaty as we were kind of talking about in the last video. Maybe that was going to be a little more sweaty, but the Celtics covered that with ease, winning by 16. So, and then, as you mentioned as well, with Halliburton out, this kind of maybe puts a nail in the coffin, to the Pacers' chances, depending on what his health status is, or maybe guys like Neesmith and Siakam and McConnell maybe step up. Who knows? But this could be the nail in the coffin for the Pacers, depending on how they do in games 3 and 4 coming up soon. Obviously, that's a good winner for you, even though that was a little sweaty. Win's a win there, so 1-1 day for us. But we were going to move on. Hopefully, end the week strong. And here are my 2 picks for this Friday. We're doing something a little different. I haven't really touched this market that much this year, but first we're going to do the Braves team total here. We're doing their team total over 5.5. We're getting that, at a plus 105 value, and I love it there. The only reason I love it at 5.5, I would take it all the way up to whatever it climbs to, is because we're kind of fading the Pirates bullpen right now. The Pirates bullpen is an absolute mess. We've seen how many leads or runs they've given up in the last few games. One of the worst bullpens in baseball right now. And even with Bailey Falter on the mound for this Pirates team, I still think he's going to struggle. As soon as he gets out of the game, I think that's where the Braves' parade of runs start to come over. And I think 5.5, and you're getting that at plus value is great right there. I was looking at 4.5, but then 4.5 is already juiced at minus 150. So I would take it at 5.5 as well. I think there's going to be a lot of runs for this Braves team. I think a lot of them coming in the latter half. So I was going to also target the first 5 team total, but I knew the Pirates bullpen was probably going to be the reason as to why this game maybe gets out of hand. I'm seeing this looking at the lines as well. This game is, I think, the total's at 9, juiced to the over a little bit. The Braves, I think, minus 1.5 is like a little bit juiced as well. So that's kind of signaling the Braves are going to probably be scoring a lot of runs and winning a lot more, maybe a little more comfortably. I don't want to target the Braves in terms of money line side. They just announced it's Ray Kerr. I don't know who that is, and I don't need to care who that is, because I'm just targeting the Braves bats here. Obviously kind of going back to yesterday's game, they just came off a win against the Cubs, scoring 3. But obviously that was a weird game. In terms of just the pitching matchups, because they both didn't even go to the 5th inning. But I think they're going to let Bailey Falter have a little bit more of a loose on him in terms of the Pirates, because their bullpen has been pretty rocked these past few games, especially with the Giants, coming in and scoring 5, 6, 7 runs in the latter halves of those games, back-to-back games. I think, Bailey Falter will probably have a little bit, more of a leash on him in terms of he'll probably go maybe 4 innings, 5 innings, whatever it is. And if there's damage. So I'm just going to target the Braves team total here. I just think they're going to be scoring a lot of runs today, and I love that over at 5.5 there, plus money. If you do want a little bit more juice, you can take it at 4.5, but that's already climbing up to 150, and I don't really want to take anything that's more than 140 to 145-ish. And I think if they're going to score 4, and if they're going to score 5, then I think they're going to get one more because of their bullpen, because the Pirates bullpen. So I love that Braves team total today at over 5.5. You're getting that at plus money right there. I take it before it even gets to maybe a minus odd, but I love it at plus money right there at plus 105. And then we're going to go to Minnesota here with the Rangers and Twins. We are taking that first 5 over 4.5 here at minus 125. And we're just fading both pitchers, because on the Rangers side, it's my favorite guy to fade, Mr. Jose Urena. Mr. I love to throw turkey tossers, Jose Urena. That guy loves to throw turkey tossers. He has 3 pitches, and all 3 pitches always find the middle of the zone. Obviously, when there's in these outdoor stadiums, it kind of benefits the hitter a lot, because he has a lot of movement on those pitches, and when he's not really locating them, they end up in the center of the strike zone. Guys like Byron Buxton, who love the center of the strike zone, guys like Carlos Correa, who love the center of the strike zone. As I go on without the Twins, who can hit righties as well. I think a lot of these runs are probably going to be coming from the Twins, but I would expect the Rangers to also be hitting some runs in against Bailey Ober. Even though he is a lot better at home, the Rangers bats have kind of always been the reason as to why, they do kind of keep themselves in these games. And, even with Jose Urena on the mound for them, I do think that they're going to get some runs early against Ober. They do have some decent splits against them. And then, as I was talking about with Urena, this outdoor a little bit higher elevation in terms of where they're played, his location kind of misses the zone, and pitches that's supposed to be end up in the dirt or something kind of end up in the middle of the strike zone. And that's definitely a dangerous it's dangerous when you have guys like Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa in your lineup. So I just love the first 5 over 4.5. I think there's going to be a lot of runs scored within those first 5 innings, and we just need 5 today. I'm getting that at minus 125. That's great value right there. So those are my 2 plays just for today. We're taking the Braves team total over 5.5. We don't care about what Ray Kerr does. We just care about what the Braves 1 through 9 does. And then the Rangers and Twins first 5 over 4.5. We're just fading both pitchers. Jose Urena, obviously not the greatest in those kind of outdoor games where there's a little bit higher elevation, where he's kind of missing the zone. And then, the Rangers, obviously, they lean more toward their bats, and they do have decent splits against Bailey Ober, whether that home or on the road. So those are my 2 plays for today, and I love those 2 plays for today. Ari, what have you cooked up for this Friday?
Yeah, 2 plays for me as well. 1 plus money play for me as well. I think I maybe have had 1 play in this market, maybe not, but going Padres, Yankees, I was trying to find a way to, back Rodon and Yu Darvish, who have been pitching very well as of late. And the first 5, just kind of too juice, like under 4.5 was like minus 160. So I just wanted to try to find a different way of kind of backing them. And, obviously it's, big plus money, plus 145. First 3 under 1.5. Darvish, the last 4 starts, has not allowed an earned run. Rodon, and the last 2 starts for Darvish came against the Braves and the Dodgers. So obviously, Yankees lineup is hot, and they've been one of the best in the league. But Darvish has shut down the Braves and Dodgers the past 2 starts, so that's why I'm not too worried about that. And then Rodon, the last 3 starts, hasn't allowed more than 2 runs overall. So obviously, there's it's plus 145 for a reason. Obviously, all it takes is a bloop in the blast for this to not hit. But I just think that value's worth it with how well both stars have been pitching as of late. Padres lineup is like up and down like all season for the most part. Also, the Yankees lineup is the better of the 2, and Darvish is the better of the 2 pitchers, I would say, pretty easily, especially as of late. I think it's been like 24 straight scoreless innings for Darvish his last 4 starts. So looking for that to continue at least through the first 3 innings. And again, Rodon, 3 straight starts of allowing 2 runs, 1 run, 2 runs. So just need him to show up basically one time through the lineup pretty much, and do his job. So obviously it's pretty heavily juiced. So usually you don't put like a full unit on plus 145, maybe a half unit or 3/4 or what maybe a full if you're feeling frisky or whatever. But whatever you want. But yeah, first 3 under 1.5 at pretty plus heavy plus juice odds. And then going to the Guardians game, Logan Allen against Patrick Sandoval. If you look at just their numbers in the season, you think that they're both struggling, but in the month of May, both of them have been pitching a lot better, Allen and Sandoval. And so again, I thought about a first 5 under here as well, but that was like 4.5, like minus 150 or 145. So even that was a little bit too juicy than what I wanted. So I'm just banking on the better team by far, obviously, and the Guardians here. Sandoval has been pitching well, like I said, as of late. I think he has like a ERA of like 2.5 or 2.6 so far in May in 4 starts. So he has been pitching well as of late. Logan Allen had 1 blow-up start in this month against the Tigers, but the last 2 starts he's gone 6 shutout against the Twins and the White Sox. So not the most potent lineups, but I don't think the Angels are the most potent lineup themselves either, obviously. So just backing Allen here, and then just the better. The Guardians don't have like the best lineup, but just they have the better bullpen, and then a better lineup, at least by a little bit. Obviously, they're first place in the AL Central. They're playing well. They don't really get the line respect that their record usually would have for the most part. So yeah, those are my 2 plays for today: Guardians money line, and then Padres Yankees first 3 under 1.5.
I do like that first 3 under. It's definitely a frisky play for you. Obviously, as I already said, if you're feeling a little frisky, you put a full unit on. But obviously, since it's a little bit in juice in terms of the plus money there, obviously just maybe put a half unit, maybe 0.75, 3/4 unit. But I do love that play for you. I do love how that looks for you. Obviously, we mentioned the Padres, they do struggle against the lefties. And obviously, Rodon has been pitching a lot better as of recent as well. And obviously against a team that struggles against lefties, I think it's a great look. And then Yu Darvish at home, what a great system! I love Yu Darvish at home, backing him at home, obviously. And obviously the Yankees got to travel across the country. No one's really talking about this is the Juan Soto return, even though he really was a national, but now he's a Padre, but now he's a Yankee. But we'll talk about that. That's another conversation for another time. I do love that first 3 under 1.5. Obviously you mentioned just maybe takes bloop and a blast, to potentially ruin it, but. Or even maybe 2 blasts from one side. Pause. Whoa. Rewind that one. Takes 2 homers, maybe one from each side to ruin it. But I do love that for you. As I said, the Padres struggle against lefties than the Yankees, obviously, with Rodon on the mound. I do think their bats are going to struggle coming across the country, against Yu Darvish, who is a lot better at home. And then back into guards, I love that, especially with their bullpen, one of the best bullpens in the league, obviously. And then obviously, you mentioned, Logan Allen's past couple starts have been pretty good, but obviously not the greatest lineups. But the Angels lineup isn't the greatest either. No Mike Trout now, and obviously Otani's been gone this season. So I do love you're getting them at pretty much a pick and price. I love it, backing them the full game. Those are Ari's 2 plays: Guardians money line and the Padres Yanks first 3 under 1.5 at some plus money there. And then my 2 plays for today: the Braves team total over 5.5 at plus 105, and then the Rangers and Twins first 5 over 4.5 at minus 125. Obviously, you can find this video and of course our full card on our Twitter below at AKP Sports Talk. Obviously, give that a follow as well. Give this video a like on our YouTube as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That is Ari. I'm Korea. We will see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Win some money, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.